You guys know I love podcasting and listening to podcasts, and I'm guessing if you're listening to this that you love podcasts too. Have you ever considered podcasting yourself? It is a great way to reach your audience, grow your know, like and trust factor, and not need to show your face unless you want to. If it is something you've thought about but you don't know where to start, then head over to becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz, BAP quiz, to access a 2-minute quiz that will help you work out what type of podcast might suit you. That's becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz. You're listening to the Wedding Procast UK, the place to be if you are a UK wedding professional looking to grow and streamline your business. I'm your host, Donna Eade, 10-year wedding photography veteran and CEO at the Society of Professional Wedding Vendors. If you want to grow and streamline your business, this is the podcast for you. Make sure you hit subscribe where you listen or join our email list at www.spwv.co.uk. You'll find the sign up form at the bottom of every episode, and by doing so, you won't miss a thing. So let's jump into today's show. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am delighted to have you here today on this, which is actually going to be the final episode of 2022. I nearly said 23 there. So for those of you who don't know, haven't heard, I am actually on day 8 of COVID right now, and I got a little bit behind with my batching, which is unfortunate. And so although I'm feeling kind of a little bit better, I was only planning on doing this week and next week on the podcast, then taking my 2 weeks for Christmas off, which I usually do. But because I'm just not quite feeling right, I figured I will get this episode out for you guys, because I didn't want to just drop off the face of the earth after last week and not wish you all a Merry Christmas. So I have come on today to give you a quick episode and to say Merry Christmas. So it has been a bit of an adventure, this COVID thing. I am so grateful that I have not had my symptoms as bad as other people have. My daughter is actually ill right now, and she's out of the house because she doesn't want to catch COVID, on top of what it is that she's got, which isn't a contagious thing. But she's feeling really rough and rotten, and I hate the fact that she can't be at home in her own bed while that's happening. It's just like horrendous as a mother to know that your baby is poorly and you can't even give her a hug. I mean, she's 21, she's not a baby anymore, but you know, she's my baby, she'll always be my baby. So there's a lot of yuckiness going around right now with COVID, with all of the strep news that's been in the papers and on the news recently. It's not great out there, guys, and we should have anticipated, I think, a year of lots of different illnesses getting us a lot sicker than they usually would, because we protected ourselves for like 2 years, wrapped ourselves up in cotton wool, and were sort of afraid of every germ in case it led to COVID. So in essence, I think we should have expected quite a big uptake of illnesses once we were kind of quote unquote back to normal. So I would just urge you guys to take care of yourselves, take care of your family, don't overly risk yourselves, and remember hand washing. Like, it's so easy for things like that just slip once the big issue is kind of done with. Those kind of things slip, and especially, you know, I was out with a kid for dinner the other night, and they coughed without covering their mouth, and I was just like, are you kidding me? You know, not my child, not my place to say, but you know, just reminding children to cough into their elbows and to get a tissue when they sneeze and throw those things away, and just things like that, simple little things like that can really help to keep the germs at bay and keep us all safe. So please do stay safe, keep healthy. This week, what I wanted to talk to you about before I sign off for the holidays were my top 5 reads for this year. Now, I've actually been blessed to connect with some amazing authors this year and to get a pre-glance at some books. So some of these books that I am going to mention aren't actually available for you to read right now, but they do have some excellent little bonuses for you if you pre-order. So that's why they're on my list, because I have got to read them and you'll be able to read them very, very soon. So I have my top 5 books that I have read this year that I want to share with you as opportunities for you to go and have a read and see what you think. But this is all part of my planning for 2023. When you look at planning, I think knowledge is power. I love reading. I tend to listen to books more than read them these days because it's quicker for me. I have never been sort of diagnosed with dyslexia or anything like that, but I was always much slower at reading and writing when I was younger. In fact, I will never forget, and I think it's one of the things that, it's one of those pivotal moments that seems like nothing at the time to everybody else, and it sinks into that child and it gives them this belief in themselves that stays with them. And this was this for me. So when I was in year 1 of junior school, which to all of those that are younger than me would be year 3, we had the streaming system when I was at school. So it was, if you were highly intelligent and was kind of an A-grade student, you were going to be in A stream. If you were an average middle of the road kind of kid, you were going to be in B stream. And if you had some struggles and academics wasn't necessarily your forte, you'd be in C stream. And C stream tended to consist of 2 years. So they would mix the first year of junior and the second year of juniors would be in one class, and then the 3rd and 4th year would be together. So that is how my system worked when I was young. And I was in B stream. And then I got moved into A stream, but I was only in there for a little while. Now, I've got it in my head that it was about 3 weeks. It might have only been a week. It might have only been a couple of days. I don't know. But I just remember the teachers saying, she writes too slow. She can't keep up. And I got put back into B stream. So it was like, you're intelligent enough, but we haven't got time for you to take that long over it. And it stuck with me that I was a B stream student. Like, I was average. I was only ever going to be average, and I was too slow to be able to be anything more. And that really stuck with me. And it's crazy because even now, knowing that that was just something that was said, that it was my writing, not my intelligence, it has something that has permeated my being since I was 8 years old. It's absolutely crazy. And those things really do stick with us. So all of that to say that I actually prefer to listen to books over reading them because I can take it in quicker, and nobody's got no time for nothing these days. And also to say, really be very, very careful about what you let into your psyche. And that is what a couple of these books are going to be looking at. It's really important that we nurture ourselves and think about what we're actually putting into our heads, what we're letting outsiders put into our heads, and what we are feeding ourselves as well. So just a couple of things to think about there. So we are going to head into the first book that I would like to recommend to you guys, and that was a book that I read earlier in the year, and it is called The High Five Habit. And it is by Mel Robbins. Now, I absolutely love Mel's books. I like all her books. I read them all. I definitely read The 5-Second Rule, which is another great book to have a look at. But The High Five Habit, and I'm going to read you what Amazon says here about it, because I want you to sort of really know what the book is about. So it says, don't let the title fool you. This book isn't about high-fiving everyone else in your life. You're already doing that. Cheering for your favourite teams, celebrating your friends, supporting the people you love, as they go after what they want in life. Imagine if you gave that same love and encouragement to yourself, or even better, you made it a daily habit. You'd be unstoppable. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. Me, I am a fantastic cheerleader for people. I love to see other people succeed. I love to see people growing their businesses and making their way in this world and doing fantastic things. And then when it comes to me, there seems to be a block, and I struggle with that. So The High Five Habit was a really, really good book. It is one that I am going to reread because I read it earlier in the year. I want to go back and just, for me, it's one of those books where you listen through once and then you go back and start taking action, because I like to kind of take all the information in, and then I like to go back and really pick it apart. So if you can get the printed version, if printed books works for you, this is the one thing that I struggle with listening to books, is that you can't highlight, underline, can't sort of make notes, because I'm normally in the car listening and things like that. So it does take away that kind of action and analytical part of book reading for me when I listen to it. But if you've got the physical book, go ahead and do that from the beginning. If not, then do what I'm going to do, which is go back and listen to it again and make it more intentional about listening. So I've kind of done the listening in the background. Now I'm going to go and take it apart a bit, listen, implement, and create a structure around it. So that is The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. Now I will have all of these books linked in the show notes for you, so you can go ahead and get them on Audible, Kindle, hardback, paperback, whatever it is that you want. So just head over to the show notes for this episode to find that information. The next book I want to talk to you about is a book that I have championed since this lady printed the thing. It is Passion to Purpose. It is a 7-step journey to shed self-doubt, find inspiration, and change your life and the world for the better. And it is by Amy McLaren. Now, I had Amy McLaren on the podcast, so I will link that show in the show notes as well for you, so that you can have a look at that episode where we spoke. But it says here on Amazon, feeling stuck, ready for a change. When you follow your passions to discover your purpose, you can change your life and the world. Entrepreneur and co-founder of the charity Village Impact, Amy McLaren shows you how she combined her passion for education and travel to make a positive change and hasn't looked back since. Now, this book is not about starting your own non-profit, although that is what Amy did. It is about discovering what it is that you're passionate about and how you can turn that into your purpose, your reason for being, and how you can make that integral as part of your life, rather than what a lot of us do, which is we have these passions, we do them on the side of our day job, we do them on the side of looking after our families, and they're just part of it. It's about making that passion more of your life, because at the end of the day, guys, we've only got one life, and we really shouldn't be spending it doing things that make us miserable. And I think for a lot of us in the working world, we sometimes feel like, the day job is just the day job. That's what I've got to do to make ends meet, to pay the bills. And then it gives me the time to do the things that I'm passionate about, and it gives me the money to be able to do the things that I'm passionate about. But how magical would it be if you can actually take that thing that you are passionate about and make it the thing that pays your bills? So for you, that might be working in the wedding industry. For you, it might be something else entirely. You may have fallen into weddings and now be finding that this isn't where your passions lie, or you may need to look at adding one of your passions into the revenue mix, so that you can keep doing these things that you're passionate about. So whatever it is, these books really do link together. So The High Five Habit, learning to be your own cheerleader and your own champion. And then Passion to Purpose, which is about discovering that passion, finding what it is that makes you tick, working out what it is in your day job that you enjoy, because a lot of people actually stay in their day jobs, not because they're miserable and they just have to, but because there is something that they actually enjoy about it. You will often find people go, yeah, well, if it was just this, I'd stay. but they stay anyway. If you could just take this part out, the job would be perfect. So really sort of passion to purpose is really about drilling down into what those passions are, and how you can maybe turn them into something more. And then leading on from passion to purpose is the next stage, the thing that you want to do next, which is to turn those passions into profits, by Matt McWilliams. Now, Matt was on the show just a few weeks ago. I will link that episode in the show notes for you. It says, create a lifestyle you love by pursuing your passions and turning profits. Turning your passions into profits outlines step-by-step guidance for turning your passions into a profitable, lasting business. Author Matt McWilliams is a successful entrepreneur and in-demand online business coach. Shows you exactly how to do just that. So in this book, as you'll know if you were listening to the episode where I spoke to Matt, he takes you through a step-by-step proven pathway of making the thing that you're passionate about your business. So that is a really good book for that step-by-step teaching. And I love step-by-step. It is one of my ways of learning is, I struggle sometimes with the big picture. I'm good at imagining the big picture, but then finding the step-by-step part of it, I struggle with. So having somebody who has written the step-by-step so that I can follow it is a really great thing for me to find. So I hope that it will do the same for you. I am all about multiple revenue streams, and this is something that you could implement in your business to create those other revenue streams by having an online arm to your business. So Turn Your Passions into Profits is book number 3, and that is Matt McWilliams' book. Then number 4 is one that I am currently reading right now, which is again really well linked to these other books, and it is called 2 Weeks Notice, and it is by Amy Porterfield. Now, if you don't know who Amy Porterfield is, I am going to tell you she is the reason this podcast exists. I have been following her for around 8 years. She is based in the US. She is a beautiful person inside and out. I love listening to her story and discovering more about what's going on in Amy's world. And she has put into a book her step-by-step plan to get you out of the day job. So if you are listening to this podcast because you are dreaming of starting your own wedding business, or any business really, I know there are people who listen in who aren't in the wedding industry. So if you are sitting there thinking, I just want to be my own boss, I just don't want to be sort of beholden to somebody else, I don't want to be earning profits for somebody else, I want it to be going to me, and I want to do something for myself which will allow me to do things for other people that I really enjoy, rather than feeling like I have to do XYZ, then 2 Weeks Notice is the book for you. Speaking to Amy, she has actually said that this book not only is about leaving your 9 to 5, but also for those who may have left recently in the last couple of years and are just struggling to get that connect, struggling to find their way. This book lays it all out. It takes you exactly through the process that she went through without the mistakes. So she's been in business for 15 years now, and she started not knowing what she was going to do, but knowing that she was meant for more and that she didn't want to be in her day job anymore in that corporate cubicle. So if you find yourself in that situation, or even if you have left the day job and are on that beginning journey with your business, then this book is definitely one to read. I am thoroughly enjoying it. She's got lots of stories in there. She has lots of students. She's been doing this for a long time. So she has got lots of stories of students and how they were able to do it, and also her own journey through working with Tony Robbins to having her own multi-million-pound business. And she now has, I believe, 20 employees. So it is an absolute inspiration of a book, and I would highly, highly recommend it. Now, Turn Your Passions into Profits and 2 Weeks Notice. These books aren't out yet. Turning Your Passions into Profits is released on the 10th of January, and 2 Weeks Notice, which I didn't actually read you the blurb bit for, I'll go back to that in a sec, is released on the 21st of February. But if you pre-order them now, you can get access to lots of bonuses. So because these guys are working in the online space, they know the power of taking action, and they want you to take action with their books. These 2 books are not books that you read and put on your bookshelf and never look at again. These 2 books are about taking action and actually making an impact. And if you want to change something in 2023, I highly recommend these 2 books for that, because I have had advanced copies. I've been able to read them and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And the bonuses that come out with these books is like, it's like something else like you've never seen before. So Matt has got I think it's around £800 worth of bonuses that you can get. Amy is doing an event with her book so that you can actually learn directly from her. So there is so much goodness in both of these books. So head over to the show notes to grab your advanced copies of these books and get access to those bonuses that are going to help you take these books from a big idea into actual practical action. So Amy's blurb says, a step-by-step guide to create more balance, gain financial freedom, and create a life and business you love. If your heart is telling you it is time to leave your 9-to-5 behind, or you feel alive every time you work on your side hustle, or you're fed up of building somebody else's dream, it's time to give your 2 weeks notice. So this book really is a step-by-step playbook. Amy is the queen of step-by-step. She really does go into so much detail and really makes it foolproof. So if you are looking to quit your job or change your business, then this book is definitely one for you. So I am going to leave, like I say, all the links in the show notes to these books. Especially with the Amy and Matt one, you'll want to go to the links that I share with you so that you can get those bonuses. Don't just go directly to Amazon, because you might not be able to get the bonuses that way. So follow my links for Amy and Matt's if you want to get those bonuses, and you've got to do that with the pre-order. So make sure that you order them before they're released. So that is those 4. So we've had The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins, Passion to Purpose by Amy McLaren, Turn Your Passions into Profits with Matt McWilliams, and 2 Weeks Notice by Amy Porterfield. So those are kind of your self-belief, self-determination, sorting out your life and business and how you want that to look. The last book is a bit of not a red herring, that's not the right word. It's a little bit different, let's say, a little bit different. And that is because this book, I swear to God, it says life-changing power. And it really opened my eyes, and it might work for you too. So for those of you who don't know, I have been on a health journey now for over 1.5 years, where I have been looking to make small changes to my daily habits of what I'm eating, when I'm exercising, how I'm moving, to help with my mental health is a big one there, because I used to be on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, and I don't want to go back to that. I will if I have to, but if I can make myself better with how I'm looking after my body, I want to do it that way first. So I have been looking at foods that I can eat that just sort of bring up those happy hormones, things that I can do, like getting out in the sunshine and making sure that I'm getting that good dose of vitamin D, walking, exercising, getting those endorphins going, all of that kind of stuff, and trying to just make new habits in my life, because it's so easy to just do what you have always done. And we know that doing what you've always done means you're going to get the results you've always got. And it's so easy that once you start making changes, for you to just fall back into those easy habits. It's almost like it's ingrained in you because you have learnt it over such a long time that it doesn't matter. You know, people turn around and say, oh, it takes 21 days, it takes 60 days, it takes 180 days to build a new habit. I just don't believe that's true. I think it takes conscious effort every day to make those changes, because I could so easily get up in the morning and not do my skincare because I spent so long not doing a skincare routine. You know, I'd wash my face and that was kind of it. And I didn't do the serums, I didn't do the moisturizer, I didn't do the sun cream. You know, all of those things are things that I now do, but it is so easy not to do it. It has to be a conscious decision. So things like that I have been working on over the last 18 months, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop working on them. Like I say, I think it has to be a conscious choice every day to make this happen. And I think if you are sitting there hoping that you're going to ingrain it into yourself so much that you don't have to think about it to do it, that is where a lot of us fall down. I think it just has to be a conscious decision. So I think maybe some people don't have to have it be a conscious decision, but I know for me, I definitely have to have it as a conscious decision. So we've got into a situation where I've kind of got a little bit stuck, and I'm not really sure why things aren't moving the way I want them to. I'm still around 10 pounds heavier than I would like to be. And I just don't seem to be able to break this wall. And it's so funny because it is like, I'm just a couple of pounds over a 10 because I do mine in pounds. So I'm just a couple over the 10 in the pounds that I want to be, 10 pounds lighter, literally 10 pounds lighter. And I can't even get under that 10 that 10 that I'm stuck at. So it's just such a frustration for me because I have been the weight that I want to get to. I'm not trying to get to something ridiculous. I'm just trying to get back to a weight that I was at not too many years ago, literally about 5 years ago. So it's not out of reach in my mind because I've been there. However, my body just doesn't seem to want to do it. And, you know, I have changed so much of what I'm doing, yet I feel like I've stopped seeing the results of it. And these were little things like I no longer have sugar in my tea. And I was drinking about 10 cups of tea a day. So that is a lot of sugar over the time. And I was on xylitol, not regular sugar. So the caloric value was less. However, you add that up over a year, you've got a good couple of pounds of weight in that. And then bread. I don't eat bread as a general rule anymore. So that is quite dense in calories and also not the best kind of food to be eating for the processedness of it and the preservatives, etc. But I don't eat that anymore. So if you add up, you know, offset it against what I am eating instead, which is generally rice cakes, because I actually really enjoy my rice cakes, peanut butter and bananas. You know, there is weight that should have come off for that. And I have lost weight. It's not like I haven't lost weight, but I have lost weight. It just stopped. And it stopped quite a while ago. And when I look back at my figures, it's actually been about a year nearly. Like I lost the weight quite quickly and then my body started changing with the exercise. So I was still seeing changes, but the actual weight has not really changed in about 8 months, I think. So it's been boggling me and it's been bothering me. And my health coach has been working with me on it. And she shared this book, which I have started to listen to, which has really kind of opened my eyes to some ideas that I just would not have thought about. So the book is called The Glucose Revolution The Life-Changing Power of Balancing Your Blood Sugar. It is by Jessie, and I'm going to completely butcher her surname, Inchauspé. I think she's French. And it is such an interesting book. Now, Jessie has a science background, and she has done research and she analyzes things, and she used to work with the 23andMe on DNA. So she has some sort of scientific background there, and she talks about working with them on the glucose monitor that a lot of people who suffer with, who are diabetic, will wear a glucose monitor that is sort of attached to their arm that they can scan to check their blood sugars instead of doing the finger pricks and things like that. And she talks about your sugar spikes and how it's the spikes that are the thing that damages, and how you can reduce that without, she's not saying that you have to give up all cakes and all sweets and things like that, but it is a really interesting book to listen to and discover. And there are some tips and tricks in there that she gives you to help you to flatten your glucose curves yourself at home. She does talk about going to see the doctor if you need to see a doctor about this kind of thing of changing your diet, then definitely go ahead and do that. But if you're like me and you're kind of stuck and things aren't quite shifting, sometimes it can just be one little thing that you can tweak and suddenly that plateau is over. Unfortunately, I started reading this book about a week and a half ago, and I was just about to start implementing some of the things that I was listening to, and COVID hit me. And so basically I haven't even been eating what I would normally eat anyway, because nothing tastes good. So I haven't been able to put what she is saying in the book into practice, but it makes sense to me. And I'm not somebody who is out here looking for fad diets. I'm not out here looking for the quick fix. I am looking to make my body better from the inside out, to really look at the health and the value of the foods that I am putting into my body and whether they are harming or doing me good. So I just think that this particular book can really sort of open your eyes to some of the interesting facts about sugar. We know that sugar isn't great for us. We know that, sugar gets stored as fat. And it's just interesting to hear it from somebody who has done the science side of things, talk about it not just being sugar that's the issue, but the different variations of the stages of sugar and how different foods and different types of sugar. Now, she says sugar is sugar, full stop, but you've got the glucose and the fructose, and those are slightly different. And she talks all about that in the book and how you can help yourself to make some changes that doesn't mean giving up all of your favorite foods. So that one is one that I'm enjoying listening to right now. So if you're looking to make a change health-wise in the new year, then it might be a great book for you too. Now, as I said, I will leave a link to all 5 of those books in the description for you. And we are on this is episode 137. So to get hold of the show notes, you need to go to bit.ly/WPCUK137 and you will get access to that. You can also go over to my Instagram at DonnaSPWV. It will be linked in the bio there. You can go to my website, the Society of Professional Wedding Vendors, at spwv.co.uk. And you will find it in the blog over there as well. So that is it for today's episode. I can't believe how long this episode has been, considering my voice is not on top form. My breath is not quite there, guys. But I really wanted to give you a really good episode to go out on, something that would be something you can take with you into the new year, these books. Some of them would make great gifts as well. So if you've got people with birthdays coming up, you could grab a copy for their birthday, or as a Christmas gift for those that are currently out, or maybe you know somebody who is looking to make a change in their life, and by buying the pre-launch of the book, pre-ordering, I don't know, COVID brain is getting me, guys. I'm going to wrap up. If you pre-order one of these books for them as a gift and they get those bonuses as well, that could just be the gift that keeps on giving for somebody. So I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic Christmas. Enjoy the festivities with your families. I hope that everybody stays really healthy and can really start 2023 with a bang. I will be back in the new year, guys. I can't believe I'm a little bit sad that I'm not going to be here next week, but I just wanted to take the time to give my body the rest that it needs without kind of panicking that I needed to get something out. So I hope you understand that health has to come first always, and sometimes we always put it at the bottom of the pile, especially if we are in a front-facing situation with customers that need us, and sometimes it's inevitable, but this is not inevitable. I do have control over this, so I have made that decision, and I will be back in the new year. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. Please do share this episode or any episode that you have enjoyed this year with somebody else. I would love to increase the listenership of this podcast. I think we have got some fantastic episodes coming up that are really going to help people with their businesses in 2023. So please do share, subscribe where you listen, and I will see you in the new year, guys. Merry Christmas. Bye for now.
Don't forget to hit those stars and leave a review of the podcast where you listen if you found value in what you heard today. It's a free way you can help the podcast reach more people just like you.